show where we're trying to be more responsible about our health, because it is my health, my responsibility. And this show is definitely powered by Corporal Zambia. In studio with me, I am joined, of course, by the one and only Chile Shebwasa, all the way from Chainda Urban Hospital, who will be telling us, and she's actually the focal point when it comes to adolescents. So she gets to deal with a lot of adolescents in that area. And of course, a big shout out to our sign language interpreter, George Kalimukwa. Yay! I love that we're trying to be very inclusive when it comes to topics about this. Today we'll be talking about HIV and AIDS in adolescence. Yes, we know HIV, we know AIDS, but we're trying to narrow it down to adolescents, right? Because it is a youth care talk show. So let's talk about us as adolescents. So we'll be talking about all that, as well as some of the things that come alongside. You know, with HIV and AIDS, you also get to find some STIs involved in there, some treatments that you might get as well when you undergo such circumstances like HIV, or how you can prevent yourself from getting HIV. It's a whole fun-filled and educative, informative as a world discussion that we'll be having today. Now, like we always do on the show, we like to hear from the youths themselves, to hear if they understand what the topic of discussion is about. That's why we always like to start with our word on the street. And this time around, we asked a certain youth by the name of Maron to just know if he knows anything about HIV, what he knows about HIV, how he thinks it can be treated, and of course, you know, what can be done about that. But let's hear from Maron.
Yeah, I'm Maron Mansa. I'm a peer educator at Tasha Clinic. I'm also a chairperson for Total Health Friendly Space. So, now today's discussion, we are talking about HIV in adolescents, but my main focus, I'll be able to talk about the transmissions of HIV. How can someone contract HIV? So, some of the ways that someone can contract HIV is mother-to-child transmission. When that mother is not on medication during birth, during breastfeed, that virus can pass through the child. The second one is by having unprotected sex with someone who is HIV positive. And the third one is by through blood contacts, whereby someone is being exposed to blood which is infected with HIV virus. Yeah, so these are some of the ways that someone can contract HIV.
So that was Maron just telling us what he knows about HIV. We always like to hear from our very own youths what they know about the topics that we are discussing on the Youth Care Talk Show, because after all, it is our talk show as youth. Remember, it is my health, my responsibilities, and this show is definitely brought to you by Corporals. Now let's get into the discussion, talking to Chile Shemwansa, who is a nurse and of course the focal point for adolescents at Chainda Urban Clinic. And again, a big shout out to our sign language interpreter, George Kalibukwa. Then let's start off. First and foremost, welcome to Diamond TV.
Thank you.
It's good to have you, and I'm so glad that we get to talk about, you know, HIV and AIDS in adolescents, and that's where I want to start from. In simple terms, let's break down what is HIV and AIDS in simple terms.
Okay, so HIV is a virus. And AIDS is a disease. So the HIV virus is the one which causes the disease. That is when there are a lot of viruses in one's body, such that there are also other diseases which come into play. We call them optimistic infections. That is when now it goes to full-blown AIDS. Then it is called AIDS, not HIV. So HIV is just a virus.
So HIV is a virus, AIDS is now when it comes full-blown. Interesting. That's very interesting as well. But you've explained what it is as well. I know one of the youth that we were talking to kind of touched on certain ways that you can actually contract the HIV virus. I want to hear it from you as well. What are some of the major ways that one can contract HIV?
Okay, one of the major ways is through sexual intercourse. and then also through body contacts with body fluids. That is, if one has a skin which is not intact, when there's a break in the skin. Then there's also transmission of mother to child, where a pregnant woman who's infected with HIV can pass on the virus to the unborn child, either whilst pregnant, or can pass on the virus when they're breastfeeding. Even through childbirth, the virus can still be passed on. And then also by sharing sharp objects like needle pricks, especially to those who are doing injectable drugs. When an infected person uses that object, and then the next person also uses it, chances are that they can get the infection.
Very, very well explained. Remember, the number is on your screen. Please feel free to call in and ask the questions that you might want to have answered right here by our guest, Chilisha Mwanza, because we're here to discuss about everything HIV and AIDS, especially in adolescents. Now, we've broken down what HIV/AIDS is, and we've also broken down how one can contract this disease. I want to talk about the treatments, because I feel like the technology as well as the health sector has come far. We've managed to actually get some treatments for this disease. So when it comes to treatment, what are some of the treatments that are there?
Okay, it's not really treatment to cure, but treatment to at least prolong one's life.
I feel like you need to emphasize on that.
Yes. So it's not treatment to cure HIV or to cure AIDS. It's treatment to prolong life and also to reduce the viral load to the infected persons. Not that we are curing the disease. We're not.
Again, I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible, especially for my fellow youths. You've spoken about viral load.
Yeah.
You need to explain to us viral load.
Okay, when you hear the word viral load, it's the number of active viruses, HIV viruses, in one's body, in the cells and also in the body fluids. So when I say viral load, I mean the number of copies, because when we are measuring these viruses, we use copies. So the number of copies one has.
Okay, so you've talked about the number of copies that one has, and you've spoken about this treatment, which is called the antiretroviral treatment, ARVs in short. So now I want to know, with it being there to prolong life, instead of curing the disease, how exactly does it work?
Okay, so in short, we're talking about the goal of ARVs,
yes,
the antiretroviral therapy. Okay, so the goal to this is to prevent HIV-associated morbidity and mortality rates. In short, what I'm saying is our main goal is to reduce the viral load. Because when one's viral load is reduced, then we are saying the number of copies in one's body have reached undetectable levels. And when they reach the undetectable levels, meaning one cannot transmit, one's immunity is good, has almost compared to someone who's just HIV negative, then apart from that, they are unable to give the disease to other persons.
You've spoken about, you've touched on some of the good things that comes with the antiretroviral therapy or antiretroviral treatment, ARVs. But I also want to know, are there any side effects or potential side effects or complications that might arise with taking the ARVs?
When one is taking ARVs consistently and in the correct way, there are no potential or really major complications associated with that. But I can say, to everything which is man-made, there are some side effects. So we have a few side effects associated with ARVs, especially when someone is just starting them. Those are maybe diarrhea, headache, fatigue, appetite loss, of which can be resolved within a few weeks. And others, if they are to be prolonged, like say I can give an example of fatigue, you can find that maybe someone is just because they are stressed. So others, they will need some counseling, which is psychological care. And a few others will need some medication, like prolonged headache. We'll have to do more other tests. And then apart from that, it can also be due to stress. So even paracetamol can be prescribed so that at least we overcome those side effects. But they are just minor.
But also, how often should a person that is living with HIV take their antiretroviral medication or the ARVs? And in that regard, how important is it for one to stick to a strict schedule?
Okay, so when you start your ARVs, you take them for the whole of your life. Why I'm saying that, it's because now we do not have a cure. So you'll be taking them every day until we find the cure. And why it's important to take them every day and at the same time, it's because we want to have a consistent in the bloodstream, because when you are taking medication, there's a certain limit which is required in the blood for us to overcome most of the activities of the viruses in the blood. Yes.
That is very interesting. Also, we're having a conversation around HIV and AIDS amongst adolescents as well. So feel free to call in at whatever point of the show so that you can cue in your questions, let people know what you want to ask, let her know what you want to have answered, and she'll definitely do her best to have the questions answered. But for now, let's quickly take a short break. We'll be right back.
Promise to always walk with me so neither of us is ever alone again?
Will you love and care for me the same, even if we're different?
Will you continue to tell me stories, even if it's the same one again and again?
Would you stay with me in marriage? Promising to love and cherish each other, no matter what life throws at us.
And do you promise to show me what family truly means?
We do.
For every Zambian family that's different, we do protection the same. We do it simply. We do it for all. We do life and help others get the most out of it. We do family with you. For every promise made to Zambian families, we do all we can to protect it.
Imagine a big stage, music and lights, people singing and dancing all day and night.
Enjoy all the nutritional benefits of real milk with Maxi Move flavored milk, rich in calcium, vitamin D, and protein. Let Maxi move you.
Welcome back. This is still the Youth Care Talk Show right here on Diamond TV Zambia. It's DSTV 271 and GoTV channel 20. And this show is powered by Kopero Zambia. Now, every time we have this show, it comes to you on Thursdays at 14:30. And on each episode, we have a segment that is called The Diary Room. Now, with the Diary Rooms, we get to talk to different people that are living or have gone through the situations that we're talking about on the show. And today, our topic is HIV and AIDS in adolescents. And we spoke to Chitalu Chilufia, who is a person living with HIV and AIDS. Let's hear her story.
My name is Chitalu Chilufya. I'm 34 years old and I live in Lusaka West. Actually, I'm a mother of 3, of which the 3 of them are HIV negative. Both my parents are dead. Actually, for myself, I am HIV positive, of which I discovered that in 2007 through my aunt, who advised me to go for HIV testing at the hospital. After that, I went that side and I discovered to say I was HIV positive, and I got really worried so much. But after that, I was advised on how I can take care of my life, and I was taught to put on medication, of which I started medication, and I have had a very good life up to now. I discovered to say I was HIV positive when I was 18 years old. Actually, I'm a mother of 3, but I am not married, and I live a very healthy life. So I would love to advise the people outside there who are both positive and negative. Do not think that just because you are positive, then it means to say your life is going to end very soon. No, life must continue, and when you just use the medicine that is prescribed by the doctors, you find to say you have a very healthy life. I would also try to advise those who are negative, please do not engage yourself into sexual activities before it is your time. Also, if you engage yourself into sexual activities, please remember to say you must be using condoms or use protection all the time so that you can protect your life. Once you use that, you'll be able to find to say you won't contract the HIV positive. Also, to the married women and the married men, it is very healthy for you to go to the hospital so that they may test you and you try to find out about your status. Each and every person, it is important that they go to find out about their status. Also, back to the people that have that's HIV positive, we just encourage you to say continue with the life that you have, continue teaching others, continue sharing the word. When somebody is positive, it doesn't mean to say that is the end of their life. Thank you so much. Okay, now I remember coming back to 2007, I was staying with my mother. I remember to say I was raped so many times by my cousin. My cousin used to rape me so many times, and I never used to know if that person was HIV positive or not. But most of the times when they raped me, I would find out to say I could contract a lot of STIs. Yes, I had a lot of STIs from the ordeal that would happen. So I would find myself sick most of the times. So afterwards, that's when I decided to take an HIV testing, of which I found myself to be positive. And I really thought as if that was the end of my life, but actually that was not the end. But up to now, I just feel okay. I know to say I'm HIV positive. I do not think to say just because I'm HIV positive, then it means I'll die soon. No. Like every after 3 months, I do visit the hospital so that they get to check how my CD4 is doing. So every 3 months I go to the hospital and I'm given other medication which can help in maybe the other sicknesses that I would have. Also, each and every time that I am pregnant, I would also visit the hospital. They'll also try to advise me and give me the medicine that will help my children not to be born positive. Actually, sometimes we find to say it is hard for men to understand ladies who are HIV positive, or the ladies that are on who are taking medicine of ARVs. So actually, for my life, I'm just living a very healthy life.
That was our diary room for today from Chitalu Chilufia, who was telling us her story. And of course, a big shout out to the sign language interpreter, who was also the voiceover artist for that particular segment, and that is George Kalimukwa. We move on with the show as well, but I believe we do have some messages that have come through. Remember, the number on the screen is for you to use. Let's get interactive. This is your show. Feel free to call in at whatever time you want to ask your questions. Let those questions be answered by somebody that has the expertise as well. But let's get to read a message that has come through. I do believe we have a message from somebody, and they are saying that they want to know, of course, how they can go about it. But let's read the message. It does read, "Hello, Madam Chileshe. I am enjoying the show, and I want to know more about window period and how how many months or years does it take?" That is your question, Madam Chileshe. So would love to hear your answer on that one.
Okay, in simpler terms, window period is the time when someone has been infected with the HIV virus, but when you go for testing, we're unable to detect it. Yes, so that is the period which is called window period. So when one actually contracts the HIV, first there's going to be an increase in the number of viruses in the body, and then after a short time there's going to be some reduction. So when there's that reduction, because at that moment your immune system is very strong, so no one can even tell that you have the virus in you. Those are the times when you go for testing, it will come out negative. It is only after the virus has established itself in the body, then it will start being detected whenever we show, because at first it may just be in your cell. It has not yet gone in the body fluids. So that is why you find that we are unable to detect it when we do the HIV testing. That is why when one gets the infection today, the following day, it cannot be detected. It will have to take at least 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, for it to be detected now in your body. That is why when I go for a test now, we usually encourage people to redo the HIV test in 3 months' time, because by then we'll be able to detect it. At least it has established itself from the body cells, now even to the body fluids.
So in this regard, I think to ask the question that was being asked, they were also asking how long the window period does take. Is it just safe to say at least go for testing after 3 to 4 months?
You can go for a test, because when I sleep with someone who's infected today, many a times, even me myself won't be able to tell that that person has HIV, because we can't tell by looking. So for example, I sleep with someone today. It doesn't mean today or tomorrow it will show there and then. It will take some time. But for my own protection, I must go for a test, so that at least I can be given some prophylaxis or some prevention, because I do not know the status of that person I slept with. So at least within 72 hours, I should go for a test, so that at least there are some medications which I can be given to prevent transmission of the HIV infection.
Now, I would also like to know in this regard, how about if you do have sexual intercourse with somebody that is HIV positive but has been taking the ARVs and the viral load has been suppressed? What are the chances of you being infected in that regard?
Okay. Many a times you've heard us talk about U equals U, which is undetectable. We are talking about the viral load here again. That is undetectable viral load equals untransmissible. Meaning when the number of viral load copies in my body is not detected, it simply means I cannot pass on the infection to other people. So when I sleep with someone who's got suppressed viral load, there are very slim chances of me getting it. 1 to about 0.
Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we have to close. I'm so sad about this because I felt like I have so many questions that I need to ask, so many conversations that definitely need to happen around HIV and AIDS. I'm so glad that you came through. You helped us answer certain questions that we needed to be answered. I'll definitely be calling you again. I'm like, I am a question. Simna Sidizi, Mami, come back. But that was Chileshe Mwansa, who is a nurse and, of course, that adolescent focal point person at Chainda Urban Clinic. And of course, our sign language interpreter was George Kalimuka. Have been your host, Esther Mlenga. Remember to follow Diamond TV on each and every social media platform. And of course, do catch the Youth Care Talk Show next week on Thursday, same time, same place, right here on Diamond TV. And again, this show is powered by Corporal and remember to always leave your questions as well in the comment sections, because we do go live on our Facebook page, Diamond TV Zambia, and those questions might get answered on our next episode. For me, on behalf of my guest and my sign language interpreter, plus everybody behind the production of Youth Care Talk Show, we do wish you a beautiful, beautiful Thursday.